Hi guys, welcome to a new series, North Node in Pisces. So in order to reflect that beautiful, mysterious Pisces energy, I'm wearing this beautiful, mystical, fairy, blue, shiny dress. So you guys can get a better idea of what Pisces is. So we're gonna dive deep because Pisces is water. But before we do that, let's go back to your South Node in Virgo and see what kind of energies, what kind of memories you're working with, what kind of lifetimes you've had. And then we're going to dive into each house specifically to see how your South Node and North Node manifests. All right, so South Node in Virgo, you guys have a lot of memories of lifetimes when you were of service. You love to be of service. That's your biggest strength that you bring to all of us. If in fact, you don't know yourself unless you are of service on some level, and that's your biggest fear in a sense, that you're not going to be needed. You want to be needed. You like for people to depend on you. That's where you shine. So as far as skills that you bring with you with Virgo South Node, practicality, the idea of service. The difference between Pisces and Virgo as far as service, because they both like to be of service, is Pisces is self-sacrificial. Pisces loses itself. Pisces is like a martyr. Virgo is different. Virgo is practical service, grounded service. So you guys have a great attention to detail. You have an eye for you can come in and you can notice what's not functioning, what's not right, what's dirty, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be cleaned. You love things that are dirty. And it can be all kinds of things, from a dirty room to a dirty, somebody's dirty emotional life, somebody's dramatic life. You're very good at coming in and cleaning shit up. You love that. And the dirtier, the messier, the better for you, because then you really feel like I gave it all and I freaking saved somebody today. You love to save people. You are my... If I were to describe Virgo, I would say it's a mixture between Capricorn and Gemini, because it has the practicality and the groundness of Capricorn and that hard work. But at the same time, it has that sharp, quick mind of Gemini. Your mind is sharp. You have great attention to detail. You're great at work that requires a long time, looking at something and breaking it apart, and you don't get bored of that. In fact, you love that. Some people could say, I can't do it, my head hurts. You're different. You will sit there and you'll figure it out. So you guys make great accountants. You guys make, bookkeepers, record keepers, anything where meticulousness is required, attention to detail, no mistakes. Virgo does not tolerate mistakes. Virgo, in that sense, is very perfectionist in the idea of that it has to be done perfect. So if somebody looks at it, they can't find nothing. They can't find a pile of dirt anywhere. People that come in and they swipe like that to see if there's any dust left. That's you guys. So when you guys are done with something, it's squeaky clean. And I mean that in direct sense, with actually cleaning stuff, and also in the theoretical sense. You guys are my cleaners, my fixers, my Ray Donovans that come in and they get the job done and they fix it. When everybody else is running away and panicking, you guys are right there. Put your gloves on and get down to it. All right, so a lot of skills when it comes to precision, detail. At the same time, you're great at, a lot of times they associate Virgo with medical professions. You had a lot of lifetimes where you were of service in a medical way, in a health way, nurses, doctors, surgeons, anywhere where there is a requirement for precision, for attention, for figuring it out, pinpointing it. You do have a scientific mind as well. Your mind is sharp. So you could have been somebody who was very good at catching things, at noticing detail. You guys are great at coming in anywhere. Let's say, how they have these shows where they have I think it's a beauty salon. The woman comes in, I think it's Tabitha, I don't know. She comes in and she right away, she sees what's not working, what needs to be fixed, what could make this place more efficient. That's what Virgo is good at. Now, the downside of Virgo South Nodes is that you guys, because you're so good at detail, because you place such high importance on achieving high quality work, you're perfectionist. So the idea of perfectionist, there's nothing wrong with that, but perfectionist in the extreme can drive you crazy, literally, where you're never satisfied with whatever you produce, where you're always nitpicking. And you do that to yourself more than anybody, right? The first one that gets to feel that is yourself. That idea that you're not perfect, you gotta be better, you gotta be more detailed, better, you can do better. And then it goes on to other people. You do that to other people. You nitpick them apart. You destroy them with your mind. Your mind that's so focused on details and stuff can destroy somebody in every way. You can look at their appearance and you can just completely just, like a surgeon, like a plastic surgeon, the way they like circle things and make little marks, you can do that to somebody and completely just disassemble them and put them together the way you want to see them, because you have a vision. Virgo knows how things need to be. You think you do. You think that your way is the best way, most efficient way, most perfect way. But we all know that we're not all operating like that, you know. So what you guys may think is perfect to somebody can be a nightmare, because it's like it's too much pressure, you know. So Virgo has that tension in them that it has to be perfect, it has to be right, and I have to do it. And if I don't do it, if I don't say it, if I don't pinpoint a finger and criticize, that person is never going to get the better version of themselves. So you guys have that in you. You kind of want to save everybody, and you're very quick to come in and say, you're wrong, this is fucked up, you need to eat better, you need to lose weight, this is dirty, you need to wash your hair. Those kind of ideas, you know. Virgo is critical. Virgo can be very critical, the most critical zodiac sign, and you guys are known for that, and that's okay. So what else? Virgo is also very prudish, because Virgo has this idea of what's right and what's wrong, and you know, Virgo has very clear boundaries on what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's respectful, what's disrespectful. You know, you guys can be very judgmental. You can be very prejudiced as well. You know, you have this idea of how things should be, and you are not afraid to express it. And more than likely, it's, you know, a lot of people probably maybe don't like to be around you so much, because you're always pinpointing their flaws, you know, and nobody likes to see that. So anyway, what else? I guess we can talk more when we dive into each specific house, but I guess general idea would be, you guys can be prejudiced, you guys can be very prudish, you know, this is wrong, this is inappropriate, you know, this is dirty, you know, let's say sex is dirty, you know, we don't do it like this, don't eat like this, make sure you etiquette, you know. Virgo is beautiful in its idea of details and making sure everything's spick and span, but if you take it to an extreme, it becomes destructive. It becomes, instead of building things up, it tears things down, because it just destroys them and says, this is wrong, this is not up to my standards. All right, so with North Node in Pisces, you're here to completely challenge, to change the way you think, the way you approach this world. Instead of coming in with a magnifying glass and sitting there and you know, and looking to see the mistakes, because Virgo is very good at seeing mistakes, mishaps. Virgo has a lot of pet peeves, you know, because the idea of perfection is it has to be like this, and you're very neurotic in that sense. So with Pisces North Node, you're here to let go of that, and it's going to be hard for you guys, because Virgo, anytime there's a South Node in an Earth sign, it's going to be very hard to break through that rigidity, you know, because Earth signs, they're stubborn in the way they do things. So Virgo is stubborn in the idea of perfection, in the idea of meticulousness, in the idea of the standards that Virgo has. So with Pisces North Node, you're here to let go of that, to lose yourself in your experience, to lose yourself in the day-to-day, to not look for details, but to see the bigger picture. Instead of tearing things down with your mind, look at it, you know, step back and look at it as the perfection and beauty that it is. Even if it looks fucked up, even if it's dirty, even if it's completely messed up in your critical mind, because your mind is very critical. Even if it looks completely messed up, completely just crazy, does not fit any of your standards, you still have to see the beauty of it. Pisces North Node is unconditional. Pisces is artistic. Pisces challenges you to go from that logical mind and lose yourself in the world of mystery, in the world of intuition, in the world of music, the arts, anything ethereal, fairy tales, anything that's cray-cray, anything that your mind would deem as, oh no, we can't go there, we can't go down that rabbit hole, we're gonna lose our mind. You can lose your mind, guys. It's okay for you guys. It's okay for you guys to completely let go of that inner critic and completely open up to the beauty of you, because you have so much feeling in you and so much intuitive in you, and you want to feel that so much. You desire to get lost in that, because you're tired of being that doctor, that surgeon, that nurse that's like, you know, or that critic that's always like looking for like the wrongs. And you're here to embrace everything around you and get lost in it and produce some beautiful stuff, because Pisces is so artistic, and you could literally just go on this beautiful journey, and then of course share it with us, and you can still be of service, but it's not going to be the critical way. It's going to be in the way of beauty, of calling us, beckoning us like a siren to get lost in your deep waters. Okay, guys, so now let's go into each house and see what we're dealing with over there. Okay? All right, come along. North Node in Pisces in the 9th house. So let's see what you guys are about with Virgo South Node in the 3rd. Because before you get to understand your North Node, you kind of have to see your South Node to see what baggage you're coming with. And then so we can transition and I can kind of help you see how you can get to where you need to be. All right, Virgo in the 3rd. Lots of lifetimes where you had to use your mind in very logical, practical ways. You know, you guys were people that relied on facts, relied on proof, scientific research, things that could be shown, accounted for. You know, that idea of, you know, lengthy research, you know, all about objectively looking at something, you know, no fluffing it up, like say it how it is, you know, very cold, logical thinking, you know, not a lot of daydreaming and stuff. A lot of lifetimes where you needed a mind like that. Maybe you guys were somebody who was a teacher, somebody who was, you know, doctor, somebody who had to use your mind in a very logical way and, you know, not get lost in intuitive things, you know. It was very important for you to be that way. Otherwise, you couldn't have done the work that you were supposed to be doing. So you guys had lifetimes of, like I said, you know, doctors, somebody who's, you know, taught a lot about health, because Virgo could be health. So people that are, you know, very outspoken on vaccines, you know, what's good about vaccines, what's bad about vaccines. Depending on which side of them you are, you're very passionate about it. So whatever you believe in is usually based on facts. You probably have a lot of research to back it up. You have a lot of articles that you've read, a lot of things you have read that you have proof that this is the truth. And you have no problem of telling that to people. You know, you're very passionate about it. With Virgo in the 3rd, you can be very critical. Your voice can be very critical. You know, when you say something, it can be literally nitpicking. It can be tearing something apart. You know, when you have a lot of pet peeves about how people speak. You probably, if you talk to somebody and they're giving you some kind of crazy ideas, you're like, buddy, this is bullshit. You know, I need proof. I need facts. You know, you're always looking for proof. You never lose your mind over anything. You know, your mind's very controlled, it's grounded, it's stable, it's meticulous, and it's like an X-ray machine. You know, you can, you know, you're good at seeing details, very detail oriented. You can see mistakes. You have a lot of pet peeves as far as probably people spelling stuff. You know, you hate when people misspell words. You probably pride yourself on spelling things right. So in the way you communicate, everything is chiseled. You know, whatever is said is technical, grounded, proven, factual. That's how you think. So what else? You could be a critic. You know, you had lifetimes of being critics, people who you know, went around and gave reviews of things. You know, food critics, theater critics. You know, anywhere where you had to apply a very cold, logical idea to something and analyze something, no matter what it was. It could have been food. It could have been art. You know, when it's hard, like. With art, it's hard to analyze it because you know, art is, you can't contain it. You know, it's not like analyzing an equation or something that's mathematical. You know, art is art. It's beautiful. It's uncontained. But you managed to contain it. You know, with your criticism. You know, with your words. You know, you knew how to pick it apart. You know, maybe destroy it too. Voice destroyed a lot of things. Yeah. What else? With Virgo in the 3rd. You are, like I said, you don't lose your mind very often, and you think that whatever is not practical, whatever is not, you know, in writing, in paper, is not worth looking at. You know, you're very, you know, Virgo is very judgmental in that idea that whatever's out there is stupid, and you know, I already know everything I need to know. You know, there's a big ego here as well. You know, big ego that has to do with your mind. You know, where you think that you know everything, and you know that whatever you know is right, it's proven, and it should be accepted. So you're probably very outspoken on a lot of things in a very critical way. You know, you're outspoken, especially health issues. You know, you're really outspoken about. Like now with COVID, you guys probably have your own theory of what it came from, who caused it, what can help it. You know, what you probably know the cure to COVID. those kind of ideas. You know, you have those medical minds, those scientific minds, and you approach everything in that way. So just as you're detail oriented, just as you are my very meticulous thinkers, you know, that causes a lot of anxiety and probably tension. You know, your mind, because it's a Gemini house and because Mercury also rules Virgo, you have a lot of a busy mind, you know, worry mind. You know, you're always kind of anticipating the worst. You're always thinking that shit's gonna go down, and you know, you're kind of that Debbie Downer in a sense. That could be Virgo in the third. Somebody, because when Virgo is of service and happy, Virgo is great. But when Virgo is not happy, Virgo is annoying. You know, it's critical. It's everything is going to shit. Like I said, Debbie Downer. It's hard to be around you guys when you guys are in those moods. So what else? With Virgo in the third, I think that's it. You know, let's move on to your North Node in Pisces in the ninth. So obviously, because we're in the ninth house and it's Pisces, your thinking has to change. You know, you have to go from that worrying person. You know, that's another thing. You probably worry a lot, and you probably have, you know, you're always, there's a lot of anxiety because you're always worried. You know, what if this doesn't happen? What if this? You know, you're very busy mind, a lot of tension, a lot of stress, and you like that because you thrive in environments like that because you're used to that. But obviously that's burning you out, guys, and you're probably not happy with it, and you wish you could just shut it off. So with Pisces in the ninth, you will be asked to shut your mind off. You will be asked to completely change the way you look at everything. You will be asked to get out of your tunnel vision, to get out of your soapbox, and you know, embrace a larger world, and in a Pisces way, which means that you literally have to stop listening to your logical mind and trust your intuition. You have very big intuition, you know, rich intuition. You have a way to look at things. It's there. You're just not tapping into it. The way to look at things from a larger point of view. You're not take it apart. Virgo takes everything apart. Virgo's good about that because Virgo sees everything in details. So Virgo is good at coming in and just like destroying something and just literally destroying it, taking it apart. In the ninth house, Pisces, you have to look at everything as a whole. You cannot destroy it. You cannot take it apart. You know, you have to look at it and get lost in it. You know, you can lose your mind, guys. You're allowed to lose your mind, truly. You'll be the happiest when you do. Because you're tired of having that logical mind run your life. And it does run your life. Probably causes you a lot of stress and worry and fretting. And you probably, I don't know, taking pills maybe to calm yourself down. I don't know. I would say relax your mind. You know, traveling will be good for you. You know, maybe you are so used to your small environment that you know everything about your small environment, and you pride yourself on that. And with the ninth house, you're here to explore. You're here to explore in so many ways. You're here to get lost and just kind of lose yourself. That's the best way to describe it, is lose yourself in any experience that comes around. You know, ninth house is the house of, you know, spirituality, you know, higher learning. You know, I think in your case, no more learning, I would say in your case, the best thing would be is just to go on like a exploratory journey, you know, meditation if you want to, just kind of learn to shut off your mind, you know, not listen to it, not listen to everything that it's telling you that you need to do, you know, maybe that busy mind telling you that, or maybe next time people are talking, you know, you don't have to put in your 2 cents about vaccines and about health and about what's healthy, and you know, stop teaching people. You don't have to teach people. You know, why don't you just focus on yourself and explore yourself, and not explore from books of you know, scientific papers and what Dr. Fauci is saying on TV, but like explore it in escapism kind of way. You know, like Pisces is such a rich and beautiful world of arts, of artistic things. You know, maybe I always recommend people watch movies, literally, no matter what node you're in, no matter what. Movies is a great way for you to learn something about yourself, to learn something about the world, to learn something about the situations that are pictured in the movie. And no matter the movie, you know, all movies are great. You learn something from every movie. So that's a way to escape. You're here to escape. Let your mind wander. Let your mind travel. Let your mind travel to freaking other galaxies. You know, close your eyes and quiet your mind. You know, if your mind's like, no, we have to go, you're like, no, not today. I'm just gonna stay here. And do that a few times. And eventually it's gonna become easy for you to shut your mind and go on a journey, an exploratory journey, you know, your intuition. With Pisces there, intuition is going to be a big one. It's a water sign. So you're here to go from logical to intuitive, you know, from rigid and stern to flowing, you know. Don't be so critical of people, you know. Don't pride yourself so much on everything you know, you know. Just kind of say, fuck it, I don't know everything. There's so much more out there to learn and experience. And that's what you have to go for, you know. Don't sit there in your box surrounded by your medical journals and your whatever it is that you get your information from, and get away from that. Get away from the news, you know, whatever you watch. With Virgo in the third, probably you like anything that's critical. You like shows that people are complaining about things. You love that because it feeds you, because that's you, you know. You like to complain about stuff. Yeah, that's a big one. Third house Virgo, love to complain. This fucked up, my food's not good enough, this needs to be fixed, this is not up to my standards, you know. Very critical like that, you know. Stop complaining. See yourself complaining and say, God, look at me, look how beautiful I am, complaining all the time. And just be quiet. In your case, being quiet would be the best remedy. Shut up and don't, you don't have to share your knowledge with everybody. Stop teaching everybody, you know. Listen, open your eyes, open your heart, listen. Take it in like that, take it in visually. Go to art galleries, you know, go to museums, expand your mind, look at a painting instead of trying to see what's wrong with it, trying to see what's right with it. And don't measure things anymore, because Virgo always measures good, bad. My food was good, my food was good, my food was terrible. This is a nice person, this is a jerk. You know, Virgo is always very polarized. So stop looking at things like that and just kind of step back and say, wow. Okay, all right, guys, I hope this helps. Bye.